What's up, fellow collectors? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be a curator today. Guys, we got the coffee on. It's a nice Saturday morning. What better place to hang out than in the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum with my coffee? And we have another fantastic video for you. We're at episode 7, guys. Episode 7 of M.I.B.'s top 100 favorite collectibles in a museum. These are the collectibles. These are the toys that I absolutely, positively cannot do without. I mean, I have to. I literally will never give these away. I certainly won't sell these figures. These figures and collectibles mean the world to me. I mean, I have thousands and thousands and thousands of items and collectibles in my museum. And I love all of them. But these are my top 100 favorites. And I have another 10 collectibles for you today for episode 7. So I think that'll put us at 70 collectibles after this video right here. Makes 70, these 10 right here. We have Lady Pop Hunter to thank for really issuing this challenge to us. We had to alter the challenge. Initially, it was Lady Pop Hunter wanted me to do a video of my top 10 favorite collectibles in the museum, and we found that to be absolutely impossible. I couldn't do it, so we had to alter it a little bit, and I had to come up with my top 100. So episode 7, we'll get that started right now. And we'll start with my Mortal Kombat. You saw Raiden, I believe, in the first episode or the second episode. The Mortal Kombat figures that Hasbro put out. I believe it was Hasbro. Let me see. Yeah, it was Hasbro. These figures were so awesome. They escaped me for what seems like decades. I believe this came out in 94, 95, right around the time Mortal Kombat was in theaters. I believe Mortal Kombat came out in 1995. But Hasbro did 3 figures: Johnny Cage, I believe Scorpion, and Raiden. And I always said if I could get my hands on those figures, because they're so hard to find, they're so difficult to obtain. So if I could get my hands on those figures, that'd be fantastic. And I actually finally found them. Hasbro Collectibles had these beautiful figures up for sale, where a collector had basically sold Hasbro Collectibles his entire collection, and this was a part of that collection, so I immediately grabbed these guys. But Johnny Cage is one of my favorite characters from the movie, from the video game, you name it. And I love the fact that I just love the way they made these figures. These figures are made on the Hall of Fame body. So I just had to have it, though. Would never part with this figure, especially as it's so hard to find him. As you can see, he's mint in box. He's in fantastic condition. And that's my Johnny Cage. We're gonna keep it moving. Let's go to my Action Man, James Bond, Thunderball. Get you a blown out look here. You're gonna see a lot of Action Man in my top 100 because I'm such a huge fan of the Action Man figures and toy line. They were so colorful. They had all the weapons and the vehicle sets, pretty much just like G.I. Joe. But this is my super favorite because of the fact that Action Man and James Bond 007 combined, a double sweet spot for me because I am a huge 007 fan. This is based on a Thunderball with Sean Connery. I'm more of a Roger Moore, but I love Sean Connery too. But I'm from the Roger Moore era, if you will, of James Bond 007. But I love the fact that Action Man put this out. As you can see, he's got the scuba shirt on there, the pants, the shorts, I should say. And we'll open him up here. Love the retro style goggle here. This was made out of a rubbery material that was known to crack and deteriorate over, basically melt over, the course of time. And the cool part about this one is that it never happened to this particular one. I don't know if they use a different type of material, but I've seen others like this, and it has deteriorated to some degree. Mine hasn't, as you can see. Get you a blown out look here. These figures are becoming a little bit more difficult to find as well, especially in this shape, and especially if you want his scuba shirt to be intact. So he's very difficult to find like that. He's got his Walter PPK there in his hands. Shorts are still nice and white. He's got the knife here attached to the leg. There's flippers on there, spear gun there, and it comes with a sail there from an actual part of the movie. This is one that I just can't do without. Love this figure. It's fantastic in every way. From box art, you name it. It's fantastic. Guys, you remember this? Do you have any of these figures up here? They're all fantastic. Let's see if I can put this. Try to see if I can put some of these guys back as I do it. That's the key, to keep this thing moving. Here's another one. Tomorrow Never Dies, Action Man 007. This is based on the Pierce Bronson character that played 007 in the late 90s, early 2000s. This is another one of my absolute favorites. You see James Bond in his best dressed attire here. There's that Walter PPK pistol. There's our Action Man as James Bond, dressed to the nines. There's another video cell there of a clip from the movie. Piece of footage there. He's got his watch on. Just dressed really nice. These figures are very difficult. Like I said, for me, they were very difficult to find. And I was fortunate enough to find these, come across these in this condition. And just another one of my favorites, my absolute favorites. Will never part with these. This is why it's so tough to do these challenges, you know, because there's so many things in the, so many collectibles that I have in the museum that I absolutely can't do without. And this is another one. Nice little shot here. Look at the old school phone here. Time machines, if you will, guys. Just time machines. Beautiful time machines. And that's my Tomorrow Never Dies Action Man. Gee, one more look at him. That's super cool. We gotta keep it moving, guys. We gotta keep it moving. Here's a fun one. You'll see a lot of these guys in my top 100 as well. My Marvel famous cover series from Toy Biz. My Incredible Hulk. They say these are 8-inch action figures, but these are not 8-inch action figures. This is more closer to 9.5, maybe even 10 inches tall. These guys got some size to them, some weight. Very chunky, especially the Hulk. He's built on a different body frame. I'll let you see him in a minute. But this is a toy line that came out well after that Mego had, you know, went under. And everybody from the 1970s, every kid that grew up in the 1970s and started collecting as adults in the 1990s, they saw this toy line. They went crazy. They went absolute nuts. They were fantastic figures. And we'll take a look here. And you had all of these beautiful Marvel figures. And the Hulk, to me, was just beautifully done. The charm of this figure and a lot of these figures is the fact that they did look a little quirky. And I thought that was really the charm. The oversized hands, but that's what, you know, Hulk's huge. He's a big guy. Fantastic head sculpt here. Their interpretation, Toy Biz's interpretation of what the Hulk looked like, right? There's a lot of interpretations. There's the famous torn purple pants. Can't see his massive feet down here. I love the comic book style packaging, box art, everything that the Hulk came with. Just beautiful. Like I said, this is one of my favorites. I believe I got this guy off of eBay because I was really trying to hunt down all of them. You know, the entire collection. I still have a ways to go, believe it or not. I have a ton of these guys. But the Hulk is one I absolutely had to find, and I had to find him in this condition. As you can see, this box is still sealed. This is still sealed, so he's never been out of his box. And that was key for me. That's key for all of my collectibles, but it was tough finding him because every time I would come across one, the box would be damaged. Or he'd be loose. You know, and I said, I wanted the perfect one. And this is, I found my perfect Incredible Hulk famous cover series figure. And he's absolutely gorgeous. So this big guy right here is a figure that I just simply couldn't part with under any circumstances. I get teased off often, you know. They say you're just going to get buried with this stuff, and that's probably what's going to happen. So, but my favorite famous cover series, Incredible Hulk figure, is just one of my absolute favorites. All right, we're going to keep it moving, guys. We're going to keep it moving. Let me see here. Like I said, I'm trying to, as I do this, I try to keep everything perfect, put everything back in its place. Moving right along. I have my good collector buddy, Dwayne Pickney, to thank for this beautiful figure. Dwayne sent this figure to me a while back. I think about over a year, 2 years ago. It's been 2 years now. He asked me if I had any of the Universal Studios monsters that Hasbro came out with back in the late 1990s, I believe, early 2000s. And I told him, no, I was working on it. And he sent this one to me as a gift for the museum. And this is one that I will always cherish. And because for one, who gave it to me, like I said, Dwayne took this out of his personal collection. And 2, The Mummy is one of my absolute favorite monsters, Universal monsters. And because Hasbro did such a fantastic job on this figure, the head sculpt is just unreal, just fantastic, beautiful job. These 12-inch action figures, I believe this is built on the Hall of Fame body. You can see that the Mummy is nice and wrapped with all the wrappings. Great job with his wrappings, all the way down to the feet, as you can see. But this is just, there's the hands there. Beautiful job. Get your blown out look here. So Dwayne gave this to me, I said, years ago, and it's been in my collection. It will never leave my collection. It'll be here on display for all eternity here at the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. It's one of my absolute favorites from my collection. I didn't have him. I was looking for him, and to be able to get him as a gift was even better. It's fantastic. Let's move this guy to the side. Keep this moving, guys. Here's a fun one. More Action Man, right? And we did a Dr. X video in my last one a few videos ago, top 100 videos ago. But here's another one, another cool one. The Try Me button there. My Dr. X, you can see the exposed brain here, the electronic brain, the electronic eye. I love the mohawk here. This is one of my first Dr. X Action Man figures that I added to my Action Man collection. And back here in the back, pressed hard enough, you could make his, I don't know if I can still do it though. Okay, let me see here. The battery, there you go. Look at that action right there. And this is pretty old. I don't press that button often, but you can see there's the back where you press the button at. Let's see, let's get you a year. Let me show you that the batteries are still functioning after all this time. 1995. Kenner, 1995. He came with all his weapons and his paperwork here, up here in the top here. It's one of my absolute favorites, though, from my collection. I just love the Dr. X character, the artwork, everything. Here's the transparent hand there, robotic hand. And everything about this character was awesome. All right, we're gonna keep it moving, guys. Gonna keep it moving here. Let me see. Just trying to get everything. This is how you do these videos, you know, these top 10, top 100 videos, because I'm getting a nice system here of being able to put them back in their place as I finish with them. So after shooting, I don't have much of a cleanup. Here is a figure that I have been searching for a while. Hasbro had put out a series of these fantastic DC superheroes, Batman, Superman, Aquaman, and in different sets. This was a set here, and there's still a couple more out there that I'm looking for, but I had to find it in perfect condition. This is my Superman, world's greatest hero, Clark Kent, is Superman, the Man of Steel. And in here you can see there's a phone booth here. He's actually running to the phone booth. They got him running to the phone booth. You can see his cape is back here. His shirt is unbuttoned. You can see that iconic S. Great head sculpt on this particular Superman. Very iconic. And get you a little closer look here. It's a great head sculpt. Look how bright the uniform, the outfit is. And he's got his Clark Kent suit and attire on. There's his glasses right here, if anybody wanted to know where the glasses are at. This figure is just absolutely gorgeous. The whole set. I found this set at the Exchange one day. Walking around, and I saw it sitting on top of the shelf, and immediately had to get it. I needed to make sure that it was meant in box, and it was. And I'll just turn this around. It's a little easier to handle too. It's heavy, but it's a little easier to handle. And this is made loosely on the same body is from the Signature Series, the Marvel Signature Series bodies. It's made on those bodies. You can see the feet and the hands. Got the gripping hands. Authentically styled outfits. Fully posable figure, and it just gives you a great. This is, I mean, it's fantastic. Phone booth is ideal for figure display. Just fantastic. And this came out in 2000. But this is one of my absolute favorites. Had to get it, had to have it. Under no circumstances would I part with this beautiful toy. It's one of my absolute favorite pieces here in the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. And like I said, this is why, you know, even a top 100 is difficult. I have so many awesome toys here that I view as my favorites. But if I'm pressed about it, this is one that I would make sure I would hold on to and protect. I don't like to think in those terms, but if I had to let something go, we're gonna see if I can put him back. He has an easy spot here, back up there. Nice and snug. Back up there. All right, guys, we're getting down to the last few. My secret mission to Spy Island. This was a really fun piece. I believe this was a Hasbro internet website exclusive. I believe it was. You couldn't get this in stores. And this is from the Timeless Collection series. But this figure absolutely had it all. Or has it all. It's got the alligator here. It's fantastic. Detonator here. It's a grease gun, I believe. Binoculars. There's his canteen. And you had a rubber raft up here. There's a paddle right here. An actual beanie cap you could pull over and knit cap. An actual knit cap, not plastic. A real cloth knit cap on his head. Just a fun set. One of my favorites in my collection. As you can see, he's in fantastic condition. C10. Literally C10. That iconic head sculpt. You can get this in African American and Caucasian. Love the outfit. You know, just everything about this figure. Dog tags. This is my favorite. Just a beautiful, beautiful figure. Absolutely gorgeous. And we'll set him back over here. Had to have it, though. Like I said, it's just under no circumstances would I ever part with this beautiful figure. Here is one of my favorite Hall of Fame figures of all time. One of the coolest, too. You saw my Snake Eyes I did a few top 100 videos ago. This is my Ace. He is fantastic. From the G.I. Joe Hall of Fame series from 1992. I actually had a chance to get this figure back in 1992. It was at a Woolworths, as the story goes. I was at a Woolworths and went to the toy section, saw this beautiful figure, and I didn't have enough, actually, at the time, didn't have enough to get him. Just didn't have enough to get him. I was broke back then, guys. Money was very scarce. When you're young, it's crazy like that. You get older, you get more money. And I couldn't get it, so I went back the next couple days, which you never do because he wasn't there. So I spent years and years trying to track down this figure, especially when I started to build my G.I. Joe collection again. And I finally found this figure. I bought this beautiful figure from Coswell Collectibles, had him for sale. He's not an especially rare or difficult figure to find. It's just, for me, finding him in the right condition. And as you can see, this is still sealed. Still sealed. There's his pistol down here. G.I. Joe. There's Ace. U.S. Air Force. Fantastic. Would never part with this figure. Love the helmet, everything. You see how minty fresh he still is. cherry mint. He still has the plastic that wraps around the helmet. His gun back there. He's got his operations manual right behind that. Just a beautiful, beautiful figure. It's one of my favorites. I could never part with this figure under any circumstances. That's my ace. And my last one was so big I couldn't bring it over. I couldn't bring it over. We're gonna just go to it. I have a lot of vehicles in my collections. This is one of those vehicles that simply is nearly at the top. Not quite at the top, but almost at the top of my list. This is my World Peacekeepers Humvee. And get you a blown out look of it. It's massive. It's extremely heavy. You're going to be seeing a lot of vehicles in the next 3 series of the top 100, because a lot of the vehicles are just my absolute favorites. I love the vehicle sets. And yes, it does have a 12-inch military driver in there. All of his equipment there in the back. Helmet. Machine gun. Gas can back there. Weapon here is on the top. I love the way the slope here of the Humvee. Massive, massive tires. It's one of my absolute favorites. But it was so big I can't really move it around like that. So it's here in the main part of my museum, because I found a nice little spot for it to sit right here. Yes, the doors on both sides of the vehicle open. It's just a beautiful, beautiful set. Would not part with this under any circumstances. I got this from Collectibles, and I went back to see if they had another one, and they don't. They're completely sold out of the Humvees. So I'm sure there's maybe some other places you probably could purchase this, but I do most of my spending, especially with these type of collectibles, at Collectibles, and they are sold out. So I bought this, I want to say maybe a year ago. Maybe a year ago I bought this, but I'm sure it's been out longer than that, but that's when I bought it. And they had a nice stock of them at the time. But this is a vehicle under no circumstances would I ever trade or sell or get rid of. It's going to be on display here at the museum forever. And anytime I come down here, this is one of the first vehicles that I look at, especially when I come into my main section of my museum. And guys, that's it. That was number 10. Stay tuned for episode 8. We're starting to really count down now, guys. You know the routine. God bless. Stay safe. And by all means, keep collecting.